In this video, I'm going to show you how to take a design in Illustrator and bring it into Webflow and build it out and develop it. And I did another video showing how I designed a Adobe Illustrator website in around like 20 minutes. And so you can go watch that video, but I'm going to recreate it in Webflow and build it and show you how I work in Webflow. So first thing that I would do is go into Illustrator. What I'm going to do is go find all the little icons and logos and SVGs on my page, and then I'm going to export it all into one folder. So what I'll do is I'll select my logo, and what you can literally do is right click and click collect for export, and then you want to click as single asset, and then I've got asset export on the left. And you can see we've got the logo asset. I'm going to say logo. Now you can shift click and do it fast like that, but I'm just going to go through here. I'm going to select this one. For the icon, I'm going to select the stars as well. So I'll just quickly group this. So I'm going to group the stars. I'm going to shift click on the gray icons as well. And these little icons here. And so yeah, if you go ahead and go shift click everything and then you right click and go collect and click as multiple assets, it will add it all in one go, as you can see here. So just make sure that you're going through and selecting everything. If everything is grouped, it might be a bit tricky, so just ungroup stuff. Yeah, right click, collect asset, as multiple assets. All right, we've got that. Scroll through, shift click, select all these ones, add the 3D icons. These will be fine because images can be uploaded to Webflow by itself. I'm going to select these logos here. Whoops. Right click, collect as a multiple assets. And then this logo down here as well. This one should be a single one. Single logo. Cool. And then this logo. And so once you've done that, it's going to be easy to just export it all into one go. So I've got all my assets here. It'll be good to name it. So call this like, check mark or tick gray. You can put a little dash if you want. Stars. So one thing I love about using Illustrator is that they have this export option. It's so awesome. So I can export all as SVG. I can also add a scale and save it as a PNG as well. So I can save it as double, or I can save it as 1 or 1.5, whatever you want. I'll probably just save it as 1 for now. So I'm going to get SVGs and SVGs. And then all you got to do is just shift click, select everything, click export. I'm going to make a new folder, Control Shift N if you're on a PC. And I can just say Webflow assets. And so now if I go into the folder, you can see we have everything. We've got the PNGs here, and we also have the SVGs. So we've got all that. Now all I got to do is go back to Webflow, and literally I'll go to my image section. Now what I'll do, I'll press this little button up the top. You can see you can expand the asset panel. And all I'm going to do is click a new folder, and I'll call it, because I'm doing a Webflow tutorial, I'll just say Webflow tutorial. And then I'm literally just going to drag and drop all these images onto the screen, and it's just going to load them all in. And I should tell you .svg or .png so you can see what's what. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to create some sections. So you can press Control K or Command K and you'll get search up, and I can type div block. You can also go to components as well and select section, and you can use the pre-made stuff. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. It just saves you a whole bunch of time. So I'll usually do a section, and I'll do the nav bar as well. So I'm going to put up the nav bar, drag up the top, and also I usually do a div for overflow. So I'll call this overflow wrapper. So we've got overflow wrapper, and I'm going to go to on the side and go to size, and you want to tick the overflow and put it on hides overflowing content. So anything that's outside of this box on the sides, it's not going to add a scroll bar. It's not going to have a horizontal scroll, because sometimes you might have a horizontal scroll and you're wondering like what's going on. So this prevents that. So just make sure you drag all the nav bar, all the sections into that overflow wrapper. So we're just using it as an outer box just to prevent anything going out of it. So cool. We've got the nav bar, we've got one section. So with the nav bar, all you got to do is just double click on this little brand section here. And it's already got a link, and I'm just going to add an image. And you can see it's added that image in. I'm going to double click, choose image, and then we'll go to my folder. And then I'm going to go to my SVG here with the logo. I'm going to go to the nav bar, go to the right hand side, and I'm going to scroll down to background color. I'm going to change the background color to black. I've already added my variables, so I've got all these the pre-made colors here. So if you press V, you can go into variables into Webflow. It's the same thing as styles in Illustrator, like graphic styles, or in Figma it would be a variable. So I've got all my colors. Make sure you go ahead and add your brand colors. Got my orange, my green, all the grays and all that. So that will save me time. Cool. So we've got the nav bar right here and the container. I'm going to click on the container, go to the nav menu, and I'm going to go to nav link, and I'm going to go nav link, and I already have I'm going to call this nav link. You can say like nav link text, because I've already got existing classes on this website. It's going to like mess it up. So I'll go nav link, we'll just say nav link text, and we'll make it white. So we've got this. Now we're going to give it the same class. Now a shortcut is when you select a text or a box, you can press Control Enter, and it'll go straight to the style selector to add the CSS tags. And so I can just type in that class we just gave it, right? And it's going to give it that text there. I'm going to go to add some, you can add some padding here, or we can add a bit of height. So if I go like 50, yeah, I'm just going to add a bit of padding. We'll go like maybe 25 pixels, just to add some space there. I'm going to change the container here inside of the nav bar, and we're going to make this 1440. Actually, we'll go 1400. Cool. And I'm going to go to my width for the size, and I'm going to make the width 100%. And we'll just make the height, say, like 100 pixels. Oh. Sorry, I'll make the width like 10%. And you can see the logos there. And now I'm going to select this box. I'll make it a flex box by clicking flex in the layout section. I want to make it horizontal. And what I want to do is we want to add space between. And we also want to make sure everything is centered. Because it's stretching to the top of the box, I'm going to click the center and the align panel, and it should align it right in the middle there. So now we've got our text and we've got our logos. It should be pretty aligned. And it's got padding, minus 10% padding. So I'm just going to get rid of the padding there, and it should center it now. Boom. So we've got that. Then I'm going to click on it. And because I've already added my fonts, I can just go ahead and add my font there. It's going to be sign, and I will go, let's just make it 18 pixels. And boom. And then we have it. We've got our nav bar. I'll just rename these. And make sure that you're working with the desktop view, not on the large view or the smaller views. You always want to start off with the this type of view here. And we can always go ahead and, we can always adjust things later, but for now I'm just going to leave it. We have it looking pretty good. Now, navbar should be done, and I can fix the links later, but for now we're just going to leave it as this. Now I've got my section. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a div within this section, and we're going to call this div hero. We'll just call it hero wrapper. Which is cool. Sometimes I usually add like a little dash in between the class styles, but for now I'm just gonna do it normally with a space. It's fine. I'm gonna press Control K. I'm gonna type in heading, and we're gonna add a H1 in there, which is cool. And then the cool thing with Webflow, you can easily like change the H1, H2 like that. I'm going to go to my typography, select my font, which will be a sign, and I'm going to go 48 pixels, and I'm just going to copy and paste the text from Illustrator, and all you got to do is just double click, press Control A to select all, then press Control C, and then if I go back to Webflow, you can paste it in there just like that. Now for the hero wrapper, I'm going to contain it, so I'm going to set the max width to 1400 pixels. And then what you want to do is click on the spacing and click the center button, this little icon with like a square in the middle. And it should center in the middle. And we can always adjust this. We can go like 1200 or 1100. Like whatever you want to do. Just make sure, like what I usually do is like I match it to this container. So this container is 1400. I go to the typography after that and click on the center because we want to center the text. Which is great. And for this section on this, I'm going to select in the navigator this section, and I'm going to set this of a margin, say like 150 pixels to give some space. So now there's space between the nav bar and the section. And also I'm going to name this section hero. I'm just going to call it heroes because heroes is taken. So we'll just call it section hero. And we've got the hero wrapper, which can change that. You can also just call it like a normal wrapper. So we'll just go wrapper 1200 wrapper, or wrapper 1200. And now we can always reuse that box. So press Control K and then add a paragraph text. And once you do that, I'm going to make this, we'll go 1.1 rem. So you can use pixels, but rem is better because it works nicer with the HTML and the responsiveness works a little bit better. Go back to Illustrator, copy, paste, Alt Tab, and then I drop that in. I'm going to center this text here, and then usually I'll give it a class of like P dash, main, or gray 20. You can put that, you can put the pixel size, or you can put the color, or you can go paragraph primary or something as well. Usually you want to use something like client first, so get familiar with that naming convention. But for this quick tutorial, I'm just showing you sort of my process, my fast process. Now for this as well, I'm going to go add an embed. Then I would go to Loom. So once I've gone to my video in Loom, I'm going to go up to share, click the share button, and then click on embed. Now what I want to do here is copy the embed code. You can leave it on responsive. And then I'm just going to paste that in there. Click save. And if I click play, you can see I've added that video in, which is awesome. I'm just going to press enter and add a page line. I'm also going to change this heading. Usually with headings, I make the class, we'll go H1 primary for now. Or you can go H1 heading as well. H1 heading. Because it already exists, I'll just add 2024. I'll just add 2024 because it's going to wreck my site, because I'm using my main site. And then I'm going to add, because the size is 48, I'm going to change this to we'll go 3 rem and then 2 rem, 2.8 rem for the line height in the typography section. HTML embed as well. A cool trick is you can right click and do wrap in div block, even link block or whatever. I'm going to click div block, and then I'm just going to add some margin. We'll go like 50 pixels, and we've got that going, which is super cool. So that is our main hero section done. Then I'm just going to add another section, and then I'm going to add a div, and then that div I'm going to name it the wrapper that I did before. So we called it 1200 wrapper, and now it's going to make sure that everything is within that 1200 pixels. Now within this wrapper or box, I'm going to add we can add another H1 or we can add a H2, and then I'm also going to, I'll just add another section so we get some space. I'll add margin. Cool. So you can see what I'm doing. And I'll just change this color to white. And then I'm going to press Control Create and then click on grid. Now this grid, I'm going to click the blue button and add another column. Right click on the row and click delete row because we only want one row. And then all I got to do now is I'm going to make a div. And this div, you can call it, card, or usually I go like 3 col grid. So col for like column, so I just know. And the width will be 100% and the height will be 100%. Oh, sorry, yeah, the width should be 100%. And then I'm going to go add a heading. We'll add a H3 and then we'll add a paragraph. And then I'm going to scroll down here. I'm going to copy this text. And then copy this one. Now, when you do something that's repetitive, like a grid, all you got to do is just make one of the divs, then just copy it, and it'll be super cool. So I'm just going to wrap this in a div again, and I'm going to add an image in. And I'm going to drag and drop it into this, make sure it's in the div block, and this header as well. Now, this div block, I'm going to call it like flex HOR for like horizontal. So I'm going to go to layout on display, click flex, and then make sure it's on horizontal here, which is cool. We can leave a line like that. And then for this image, I'm going to call it icon mark. I'll double click, choose the image, go to my assets and find that check mark. And then that check mark, we can make it say 30 pixels. I'm going to add some margin, 15 pixels. Just like this. And then we just want to make sure things are centered. And then I'm going to add margin on that box. So on that box, I can add margin like say 10 or 15 pixels. So there's no margin anymore on the text, and now it's centered. So you can see that. So we've got the icon and the heading inside a box, which is flex horizontal. And then we've got a paragraph, and these are both within this div. We've got 3-column grid div, which is cool. And now this text, how do we add the gradient? So I'm going to go down to backgrounds, and you got image and gradient. I'm going to click the plus button, and we're going to click on gradient. And what we want to do is double click, and we want to select our color. So for now, I'll just go select this, and make sure you click on the purple to select the variables. For orange, and then all we got to do now is go back. And you want to click clipping, and you want to clip it to the text. And that's how you get that gradient. I can left click on the linear gradient. I can change the direction if I want. I can move this like that. Flip it. No, this way. And then boom, we have what we got. Like that. And I also have a little bit of white. So you can also left click once. Add white on there. On the other side. Add that bit of white, and there we have it. That's how we create that cool looking text. Boom. So we've got that section. Now for the other sections, basically the next 2 sections, once we've got like one, you can literally duplicate it. There's a lot more to go. This tutorial is getting long. So next we're going to create this section here. And I just need to bring these into and then section. I'll just type section courses 24 for now, but you can call it section courses. Now what we're going to do, I can actually duplicate this heading here, or this wrapper, and I'm just going to go into the section and paste it in and just delete the HTML embed. So we've got this. I can paste in my text from here. Sometimes it does bug a little bit. And sometimes I work too fast and it just breaks. Now I'm going to add a grid. We'll make a 3-column grid. Then I'm going to add a div into it. I'll give it a width of 100% and a height of 100% for now. Within that, we're going to basically, we need to add an image. We've got a H2 or a H3 there, and then we've got some more text. It could be paragraph or H4. Then we've got the stars, and we've got the paragraph and the button and this. So you've got to think everything is in boxes. So, you know, all this will be one box. This will be in a horizontal box, the stars and that, and then this two down the bottom will be in another box with a horizontal flex. So for this one, I'm going to add, if you hold Shift and Alt and drag the padding, you want to add about, say, 25 pixels, right? I'm going to make this, I'm going to change the name of this class and call it, you know, you can call it card or course card gray. Change the background and we can make it that dark color. Now, if I want to add some radius, I just go to the borders and maybe go 50. That's too much. We'll add like 12 to get that rounded effect. I'm going to add an image. And for this one, I'll just add one of my courses here. My Webflow beginners course. You can actually check that out. I will put it in the link in the description. Image. Now, we want to add another div. And within this div, we'll just call it like card text wrap. We want to go, we'll type in probably H3. I can search for my assets as well. So this one is AI Magic. Select that. Yeah, Magic course. And then I'm going to add another div, and this div will be a flex horizontal like we did before. So let's just double check. It's a flex, yep, and it's centered. We're going to add an image, and within this image, we're going to add those stars as an SVG. You can scale that down. And then also I'm going to add H4. With white text, and I'm going to put the amount of students. We'll name the stars green with a margin of 15 pixels. I'm just going to change the H4 text here, and I'll probably, let's go 14 pixels. So we go 0.8. rem. There we go. And make the stars like that. I'm going to click on the flex horizontal, and it is centered. So I'm going to add just a subclass, and we'll call it text align left. And then I'm going to change that align to the left, and then we have it. We've got this, and there's a margin of 10. I'm going to make it 0 on the H4 because it wasn't aligned, and there we have it. We've got, and obviously nothing's responsive. That will take a whole nother video to do, but we're just building the main desktop view. I'm just going to drop the pixels down on the padding. Go 15 on there. We've got this. Now we just need to add paragraph text, copy and paste. Amazing. And then I'm going to duplicate this flex box horizontal, and we're going to add button and make the height, say, 50 pixels and 120. Then I'll go to the background color and change it. It has a light smog color, so I'm going to click unlink, and I can just drop the opacity down like this, or alternatively I can just like drop this down as well, whatever you want to do. And then for the stroke, we'll add 1 pixel, and we'll just change it to the light gray color, which we have there. And we're just going to add a radius. We'll say 10 for the roundedness. Boom. And then we've got our button there. And then for this flex horizontal, I'm going to get space between on the x-axis. And so we've got this button. I'm just going to do this to 1.4. And then all you gotta do is copy and paste and duplicate that. Just make sure the position is on auto in the grid child. And you know, you can always change the column span of things. So if I want to like change it, you can make one bigger, but typically it's what I do. Now I'm going to add a grid. Now with this grid, we're going to have 3 columns like so. And then all we got to do is I can make a div and then call it, we'll just call it bento card gray. Then we add a background color, the dark gray. We can add radius 12 pixels. And I'm just going to copy that. This one, I'm going to just select any of the bento cards, and because it has a style, it should apply to all of it. So I'll make the height will go like 250 pixels. And then I'm going to select on this one, and we want to change the column span to 2. So now this one goes over 2 columns. I'll delete this one, and this one goes over 2 rows. So I'm just going to add a second class and just call it bento card long for now, and then just make it 100%. And so now we've got sort of this bento box. Now all we've got to do is add a div, and then add a H2 and also a paragraph, and we're also just going to add some padding. 25 pixels good. This one will go 1.2. Change the text sign 1.8 rem. Normal. I could make it bigger. Just go bigger like this. Image, and I'm going to add the rocket. Now what we want to do is we want to make the image, we want to make sure that it's inside the box, but we want to change the position to absolute. And so now it doesn't affect you know, the spacing inside of the box. It can be anywhere, you know, in or outside of this card. So with absolute, I'm going to click the top corner here, not of the page. I'm going to click this and change the bento card position to relative. And then this image, we can go to the image now, click the top right, and then I'm just going to drag the positioning just like this. And I just want to give this heading some space. Just going to wrap it in a div block. And cool. So if I just press play, you can see this is what the website is looking like. I'm just going to continue copy and pasting all this text. I'm going to add an image, change it to absolute. In the position, I'm just going to scale this down, and we can adjust it like that. Same thing for the pencil. Let me adjust the percentage there for the absolute. And that's how you create sort of this like bento box. Alright, I can put another section. I'll just move the footer to the end. I'll just delete all these cards. Now for this one, the only image is the stars. I can just keep the stars like this. Get rid of the button there, and then we want to add just another image, and say we can just select one of these images, scale it down. We can just drag it, so you can see I just dragged to the left of it, and you see like that blue line. And for this, let me just have a name next to it. Get rid of that. Put a paragraph, and I'll just say make it a bit smaller, and then we just want to make sure that it's not space between, but it's left aligned. And then we can say image person for now. Image as person, let me add a margin, say 20 pixels. And then that's how you get this. And just get rid of the margin for this, so it's centered. Cool. And that's how it looks like. And you can see you can adjust. The star's green. I'm going to put some margin. And then I'm just going to duplicate the card like this. And that's it. So I'll add another section. Flex. Horizontal. We go image. And then we go paragraph. Two elements. Here's my image. Change the width to 50%. I'll add some margin. 40 pixels. Select all this. P-big text style. And I probably should have saved that signature as SVG and chucked it on there. Then we've just got another grid as usual. Just add a grid with 1 row, 4 columns. And we can literally just add our logos in. 75 pixels. 100%. And you can always go and change the fit to contain, so this logo doesn't get messed up. I can also change this grid. I'll put the max width to say 1000. So, and then we want to center it as well. Size, add some margin, copy and paste, and then add the Adobe logo as well. So, and you can play around with the sizes and all that and make it good, but yeah, that's basically how you do that. And then this one is just a box with an image, and then I embed my email marketing. And then we've got the footer. I'll leave that other little section out. But for the way I did the stroke, so I made a div, and in that div, there's an image of the stroke. So it's just easy if you export this. You can export a stroke, so you can make stuff in Illustrator or whatever. And also this PNG this background I made is a pattern and a gradient. And so you can just group that. Let me just lock the background. I can just group this and save this as an asset as well. And then that can be background, which makes it easier. So yeah, I just uploaded that as an image. So if you want to know how I made that stroke in Illustrator, I'll quickly show you. So if I go to my gradient tool, so this is how I did it. I put 2 black on the edges, and then I put an orange and a green in the middle. And so it adds this fade out effect. As you can see, it fades out slowly because it's the same color as the background. So if it's the same color as the background, you're going to get that effect. And then you can just export that as a SVG because it's a shape. And it just adds like this nice, cool, like glow effect. It looks really like, yeah, it looks futuristic and modern and cool. And then for the wrapper, all I've done is add, once again, a grid footer with 6 columns. This one has an empty div in it, which is just a box. And then there's a box here with the logo badge. And then you've got subheadings with the links. So this is a text footer link. So if you click on it, it will take you to basically to a link. And it also has a hover state. So if you click on something, you can go to the top style selector, click on hover. And then what I usually do is I like to go to opacity, drop it to 50%. Or, you know, you can always change the color, change the background color or whatever. So it just makes it, when you put your mouse over it, you can see it changes. Really, like, it's that simple. And that's basically it. That's how I made my landing page. This video is long, so I'll probably have to cut it down. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this quick tutorial. And as I said before, like, it's just a quick tutorial. Like, make sure that your naming conventions are solid and make sure you do everything properly if you're building a client website. But it's just to show you the process and how I structure things. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to see more videos like this where I take a design and bring it into Webflow and build a website, or if you want to see the process of me creating a brand from scratch, let me know in the comments below. And if you do want to see me use ChatGPT to create some new ideas and text, then you can watch this video here where I create custom GPTs.